playing. Caitlin Clark actually coaching the team during the period in this game. Now, what stuck out to me is that that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. But to see Caitlin Clark taking charge of the team, pretty much coaching every damn body. Because we know there has been times with this basketball team that people don't know where.
A 7-point game there towards the end. I think, it was a really surprising call with the challenge. It's surprising the fact we can still score 98 points with 20 turnovers. That rare.
Parker's injury, and Nadia and Carly are two of the prime people that you're probably looking at.
The actual footage here is real and did circulate widely. Sideline video showing an animated exchange between Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark during a fever huddle. What's not confirmed is the leap to White's tenure is ending. That's speculation stacked on top of a real clip, and it's worth being clear about that distinction before treating it as settled.
Now, footage has been released from last night's game displaying Caitlin Clark actually coaching the team during the period in this game. Now, what stuck out to me is that I told y'all last night, I believe Stephanie White tenure in Indianapolis is going to come to an end after this year. I think Stephanie White is going to quit the team. This furthermore lets me know that she's probably on her way out the door. Anytime you see Caitlin Clark sitting in the coach's chair, coaching the team to victory, because that's what it looked like late in the game, because I told y'all, the Indiana Fever was up by 18 points in that fourth quarter.
The description of the Fever getting sloppy after building a big lead, turnovers, missed shots, defensive breakdowns, is a real, common late-game pattern worth analyzing on its own basketball merits, separate from any coaching drama narrative layered on top of it. Blown leads happen across the league regularly, and it's worth treating that as a real basketball problem first.
They started doing silly stuff, turning the ball over, not scoring, missing shots, whatever defense they was running. That wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. But to see Caitlin Clark taking charge of the team, furthermore, let me know Stephanie White is probably out the door. Now, this footage has went viral all over social media, and shout out to everybody that go to these games and get these sideline footage, man, because this.
Calling out unclear rotations and communication issues on the floor is a legitimate, specific basketball critique. People not knowing where they're supposed to be is exactly the kind of coachable, fixable issue that shows up on film, and it's worth taking seriously as actual analysis rather than dismissing it as just fan noise.
Caitlin Clark displayed coaching, let's just say, tendencies, because Stephanie White clearly was unable to get the team motivated. So, what was Stephanie White doing this time here? Shout out to Correlation, man, for sharing this. But it was a lot of.
The reaction to the viral clip itself, describing it as Clark coaching everybody in the huddle, is one read of an ambiguous moment, and it's fair to note that's an interpretation, not a confirmed account of what was actually said between them. Sideline video without audio leaves real room for different, equally plausible readings of the same clip.
Yeah. So that was Caitlin Clark. Coaching, bro. Pretty much coaching. Coaching every damn body. Because we know there has been times with this basketball team that people don't know where they're supposed to be. People don't know where they're supposed to go. And just for her to finally step up and do this publicly, I don't know, man. I think Caitlin might still be in Indy, bro. I think Stephanie might be leaving. I really do.
There was also real rally activity outside this game, tied to the broader Sophie Cunningham conversation that's been playing out across the league this season. A genuine, ongoing story in its own right, covered in more detail in earlier reporting this same news cycle.
Now, there was a lot of protests going on at this game. Look,
ladies, while you're first,
young ladies.
Can you hold up your signs for me? All right, nice. Okay, go ahead and put them down, and then tell me why you're here.
Because to support Sophie.
Do-
And because we want girls.
Turning to the actual post-game analysis, the coach's point about a questionable replay challenge ruling being a real momentum swing is a fair, specific in-game complaint, the kind of officiating detail that genuinely can shift a close game's outcome regardless of which side benefited.
Commend the group for the fight and the resilience to come back and make it a 7-point game there towards the end. I think it was a really surprising call with the challenge. Like, I think that was a huge momentum swing. Our possession potential will make it a 4-point game, and didn't go our way. But I think I don't want to be in a habit of making excuses for ourselves. Really, the turnovers, I think, were a central theme tonight in terms of
the turnover breakdown, 3 in a row at one point, no single stylistic pattern to them, just individual decision-making lapses, is honest, specific self-scouting from a coach unwilling to make excuses. That kind of direct, non-defensive post-game accountability deserves real credit regardless of the final result.
Just looking at the start of the second, I believe it was a 7-point lead we had, and then I think it was 3 back-to-back turnovers we had, and then we saw it again in the second half. And it's a frustrating one because I don't really feel like there's a stylistic theme to them. It's really just we got to do a better job training our individual decision-making to reduce those. I think, you get that down to 12.
The free throw disparity, 34 attempts to 18, combined with a genuinely difficult defensive assignment on Clark, is a real, specific factor worth weighing honestly in how this game actually played out, separate from any broader coaching drama storyline layered on top of it.
I think that's a really winnable game for us, and it's surprising the fact we can still score 98 points with 20 turnovers. That very rarely happens. Defensively, I did feel it was a better second half. I mean, it's tough with all the free throws they got. I thought Nards was in great position a lot of the time. She had obviously a tough assignment on Caitlin Clark, but I thought she did a really good job. So it's tough. I mean, a 34-18 disparity at the free throw line, that's also very hard to compete with.
Questions?
The follow-up question about whether the turnover issue is a season-long pattern or a one-game blip gets a genuinely candid answer, acknowledging real improvement over the course of the season while still being honest that this particular night was a step backward. That's useful, specific context for anyone trying to track this team's actual development.
What you just said about needing to train your individual decision-making and cut down some of those turnovers, is that just like a season-long thing that you guys kind of have to keep working on, or is it something that at certain points in the season you felt like you were doing better than you're doing now?
Yeah, I think, this hasn't come up for a while. I do think we've gotten a lot better as we've kind of gone along. So I think it's, schematically, like, I wouldn't say it was things like hits from Indiana that were causing us problems. I think
the specific stats cited, 45% shooting from 3 as a team, is a legitimately strong offensive number worth crediting directly, and it's fair, honest coaching to note that a hot shooting night can mask other real issues rather than pretending everything about the performance was flawless.
Coach, we had a tough game for Megan and Frida in the paint. Both of them are pretty good under the basket and three-point shooters. What was it about their scheme that was really limiting to those two players?
Yeah, I mean, I think we shot the ball from 3 really well as a team, like 45%, and it's, we haven't had Meg's been great consistently for us for a stretch of game, a really long time. So it's happens, long season, so many games. I didn't really feel like it was anything special that we saw from Indiana.
Crediting 2 specific role players stepping up in response to a genuine injury absence is real, earned praise. Naming exactly who filled the gap and how, rather than vague team-wide credit, is the kind of specific analysis that actually tells you something useful about a team's depth.
And over the past week, a lot of the attention is how does the team move on from Sarah Ashley Parker's injury, and Nadia and Carly are 2 of the prime people that you're probably looking at. Nadia's probably just had her best games in 2 months, and Carly had 13. How did you feel that those 2 really stepped up today?
No, I thought they both did a great job. So that was really really encouraging to see that performance. I thought offensively, Carly was, she's got to be the most shot-ready player on the team in terms of
Closing on genuine, specific praise for defensive effort on Clark, paired with real disappointment about limited playing time for a key defender, is a fair, balanced way to end a tough loss, giving credit where it's earned without pretending the game went perfectly.
That ball is going up unless they can physically alter your release point. And I thought she did that tonight. I thought defensively, Nards was excellent on Caitlin. In terms of the direction for where we were sending her, and then just all the covers, I thought she did a really good job. I think really unfortunate to play only 18 minutes tonight. I think it's very, very. If that was like 30, I think defensively that would have helped us as a team a lot.
It was a sold-out game tonight with vocal fans from both teams. What's it like coaching in that sort of